Oh man, you ready to get into this Clipper hate?
I thought you would never ask.
I stayed up late because Blevins preempted everything. He was like, "Hey, the tweets are in draft, like they're draft." So I'm like, "All right, I got to stay up for these." You did not disappoint, man. You did not disappoint. That was a happy day for all Laker fans.
Well, I knew that tweets were going to get drafted. Like I told you guys, there was three sects of people that were going to draft these tweets. It was going to be quote unquote fans, Laker fans, and then Laker haters. Those were the three type of people that were going to draft these tweets, right? And lo and behold, I didn't do it during the day, but during the game, I was drafting these tweets up because I just had a feeling that it was going to happen. Like the Clippers were going to clip. And lo and behold, they did. And as soon as that game was over, well, first of all, before the game even ended, when the Nuggets went up by 8 to go into the fourth quarter, like I started running around the house. I was jumping up, clapping and cheering. And I don't think I've ever had so much joy in my life than when these dudes were losing like this, right?
Mhm.
And then as soon as the clock hit double zeros, triple zeros, I let loose. Like you said, I let loose. And not just from my stuff, but all the stuff from the rest of NBA Twitter and all of Twitter, they were the number one trending topic in the US was the Clippers because they failed miserably. And it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. I could just imagine like the birth of a child. You guys are fathers. I could imagine the birth of a child and how beautiful it is. I don't think that the birth of a child is more beautiful than watching the Clippers get slandered the way that they did.
People pulling up receipts.
Receipts.
And it's funny because out here, a lot of people like basketball up here, obviously San Antonio
Yeah.
fans,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, the Clippers are the one. Like Clippers are great. Like you guys better watch out for the
Because
Clippers." And
Spurs
I'm
fans
like,
don't like the Lakers, though. That's why.
Well, it's just what they see." And I'm like, "Trust me, guys, this is all the hype. Like that they're gonna fall short. Like it always happens. When they had CP3, Blake Griffin, and Jordan, they were the ones too. Like at that time, I was like, trust me, they're gonna fall flat. And yeah, they did. That's what we're used to. Nothing new for us. Nothing new.
But it's
Andy.
yeah, nah. I think I like the Clippers. It was cool to like the Clippers at one point when they had Quentin Richardson, Darius
Oh
Miles,
yeah, LeBron
Elo.
Odom. Yeah.
Those were the likable Clippers
Yeah.
because as a Laker fan, you're like, hey, y'all, you guys are fun to watch. You guys are
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
And they knew their
And
place too.
well, they
Mm-hmm.
knew their place, and obviously standards have risen a lot, but so did like they got overhyped,
Mm-hmm.
and then the hype followed with their cockiness and arrogance, and sometimes you need to be humbled. And luckily, I was a Nuggets fan for about 7 games, and I'm glad the Nuggets were able to pull it off. So shout out Jokic and Murray for a great series. But yeah, and I had a feeling. I had a feeling like when they started they lost what was it, the fifth game? I think. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, the sixth. Yeah, the fifth game. I was like,
Fifth, sixth, and
oh,
seventh.
it's about to go down. So exciting times to be a Laker fan. But also I am kind of bummed because I really wanted to see the Lakers beat the Clippers. I really
I
It
think
wanted.
would
we
have been
all
nice.
did, but I think them losing, not even getting to the Western Conference Finals is even better than that because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like, so I have a few friends that I'm in a group chat with. One has been a Laker fan all his life. He used to have the ugly Adidas Kobe's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before Kobe was even with Nike. So I know he loved Kobe. His dad loved the Lakers. His family loved the Lakers. All of a sudden, when LeBron came, he wanted to switch it up. And then our other two friends, they're close with a couple of the players as well, right? So all for a whole year, you talking about since July of last year, they've been talking crazy. And then when I called them, two of them I still haven't talked to. They won't return my calls. They will not return my calls because, well, I don't know why, but because I've given them so much slander on how they was talking big about how great the Clippers were. Everybody was saying they were the 96 Bulls, comparing them to them, and they failed miserably. But my other boy, the one that used to be a Lakers fan, who's not a Lakers fan right now, we made a bet on the Lakers series, and I got my Casamigos. So thank you. Shout out to you.
One thing that comes to mind. Nuggets fan or Jamal Murray was like getting on the media, right, about like put some respect on the team. I feel like the Lakers have the same argument because they have been the underdogs the whole season. So talk about being underdogs in 2 rounds, talk about being the underdog in 82 games. And to just be in the position now where everybody that was Clipper in the media, and all of a sudden you put on a Laker jersey because you're like, oh, Lakers are going to win. Like,
easiest championship ever for them.
But
cakewalk.
Yeah, Lakers need to stay focused though. I like LeBron's focus. I like the way you could just see it in his face. He's smelling it. He knows he can't let this opportunity slide because even if he did, they're gonna kill him, and he can't afford that.
That's the difference. That team is not getting ahead of itself. The Clippers got ahead of themselves.
Oh yeah.
And then everything was, oh, the young kids are trash, blah blah blah. And then we finally traded them for AD. Then it was like, oh, AD is not good enough. AD can't stay healthy. And then now all of a sudden the kids were good, right? Then it was LeBron was washed. Then it was, oh, they can't hang with the Clippers. Then it was, oh, their schedule is easy, even though every team plays the same exact teams. Then it was, all these home games. Oh, the Clippers aren't playing hard in the regular season. You guys just wait till the playoffs. There was the goalpost kept moving, and there was every excuse in the book.
Chemistry.
And look who's left standing.
That's why the greatest quote of all time. It pissed me off. It pissed me off. Yo, that's wild though. He only got 16 votes?
16 first place votes. So he should have been MVP, but he's not, and I think that's okay. Like, Giannis had a great season. That's cool. The thing that made me mad is that Giannis won Defensive Player of the Year over AD, and that should not have happened at all.
I think that's a part of the business, and the NBA probably understanding that LeBron's time is coming towards the end and trying to pass the torch a little bit. And is it fair? No. But is it smart? Maybe, because it creates also entertainment, and we got to remember that NBA is entertaining, and the narrative is gonna year round. Even after the season's over, they're gonna continue to talk about next season. Can LeBron do it? Are they gonna snub him again? And it's just a continuance. Like, they're smart, marketing wise. They're smart. If you know, we know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Wasn't Steve Nash like 34 when he won 2?
and Rob Shaq,
and Kobe 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
Nash could have got 1, but you got to give Kobe a second one.
So I think it was more so Shaq should have won one of Nash's, and then Kobe should have won the Dirk one in 2007.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, just like 2007, the MVP ended up losing early and didn't even get to accept the award while they were still in the playoffs. So that happened with Dirk, and now that happened with Giannis this year.
It's crazy that LeBron remembered 2012 Marc Gasol winning defense. Like, that means when he said that, I was like, oh, he hasn't let that go. He hasn't let that go to remember
He's
that.
a basketball savant, so his memory is really good when it comes to the history of the game and even the actual games and things that happen too.
I appreciate that as a fan.
It's like Blevins that lockdown D. That was Andy Ortiz.
I'm just saying.
What's up with your boy T Law?
T Law.
Man, so first we had House going home horny.
Yes.
And then now we got Ty Law is out here tripping too. So he came from North Carolina. I think he was on one of the championship teams on North Carolina, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did.
He had a pretty solid career when he was with the Nuggets. That was his most
longest tenure.
Memorable, longest tenure, most success was with the Nuggets. They had some playoff runs, and he was a big integral part in that.
He was an ex-Clipper.
Clippers, I think he was on the Knicks, but he ended up being out the league because he had a couple of DUI incidents. Then he was in the Chinese Basketball Association, and he was balling. I think he was averaging like 27 or something like that, 27 and 6, getting paid well. and he ended up posting on his Instagram that, hey, these Chinese women out here really have cakes. Like, I might change my stance. So that was one post on his story. Then he posted, I guess, him in like a gentleman's club and like Lou Will and a Chinese woman on him, and it went viral. And the Chinese Basketball Association banned him. Not just kicked him. So the team kicked him off, and then the association banned him, so he can't come back. So you talking about he got kicked out not kicked out the NBA, but has some issues with the NBA and left, and then now he can't be in the CBA either.
You think they're gonna send him to the market in Wuhan where COVID started and be like, "This is your punishment"?
I'm not touching that.
He's gonna have to come home now.
Yeah, he can't stay, man. He's a wild one. At least he was honest about it, huh?
He could be a globetrotter,
I guess. Poor guy. I don't know why you messed that. I don't know why people mess stuff like that up. Why would you do that?
That makes me think. Like, Bronny posted that. Like, people just cannot not post. You know what I mean? Like, why? For what?
Like, who was he trying to impress? Like,
Everybody want to be funny. Everybody want to be famous. Everybody want to be beautiful.
He's already famous.
I mean? That's the thing. Like, stop posting stuff. You know that culture is very conservative. Why would you do that?
That's true. And they're super controlled. Like, that's unacceptable in that country.
I think that should happen to House then. House should be out the NBA.
Or maybe just they don't want them to know that their women have cakes.
True.
They want to keep them to themselves. They know what black men like, and they want to keep them to themselves.
You think maybe because he was far from home, he missed pound cakes?